それ
My mind was dulled from terror, but it seemed like there was something awful with what I just said.
しっかりしてください。あなたを守るためにすでに何人犠牲になったと思っているんですか。
No.
俺を守る
理由は聞かされていません。でも命を懸けて守れと自分は命じられています。それがこの国の未来につながるのだと。
The helicopter passed over the riverbed. A bright searchlight passed by for a moment, but thankfully the shadow of the dike hit
こっ
us.
ち。
The young SDF soldier, whose name I didn't even know, pulled me inside of one of the holes in the concrete. When I looked closely, I could see that it was the entrance to a sewer. It was just big enough for a single person to pass through. Struggling against the flow of water that came up to my knees, I pressed on through the darkness. God, that's so tense. My sense of smell had already been gone numb, so I didn't have to worry about the stench of sewage. Once inside, we came to several branching paths. The SDF soldiers seemed to know which one would lead where, and they marched on without hesitation. And then we came out of the sewer and back into a riverbed. It was dried up just like the one we'd just been through. I didn't know if it was the same river or another one, and the two soldiers didn't tell me. Either way, I was glad to finally be out of the foul-smelling darkness, and I tried to take a deep breath and fill my lungs with fresh air. But halfway through, I realized that the riverbed smelled even worse than the sewer. I took an involuntary step back and then another. The sight of me was just that terrible. The sight in front of me. What was once a riverbed was now filled with bodies. Some of them had been burnt totally black, so it was impossible to tell how much death lay before me. And in the distance, I could see what looked like bonfires. They were burning despite the rain. The fires were consuming the mounds of flesh that were once human bodies.
もうすぐです。きついでしょうが走れますか。
The SDF soldier spoke to me. And then I came back to my senses. If it weren't for these two, I wouldn't have been able to stay sane. We ran through the riverbed, and one of them in front of me and the other behind. I could hear the constant drone of the helicopters above me. Sometimes the searchlights got very close. Each time they did, I hid in the pile of bodies until they passed. I had seen this many times before as I'd wandered through the world lines. Doesn't make it any easier. I'd seen death. I'd seen the moments when people had died. But at the same time, I'd never experienced what happened to a dead person after they were left out for a long time. More than fear, more than sorrow, the thing that hit me first was the smell of death. The rotting stench ate away at my body, not my soul. My whole body was rejecting it. It made me feel sick. Thinking that way meant trampling on the dignity of the dead, but I couldn't help it. The Valley of Hinmon. I remember that phrase. That was what that strange attacker had said that night when they came after Dr. Luskin and Maho and me. Freaky guy. That valley was the origin of the word Gehenna, meaning hell. It was said that flames burning there every night scorching the heavens themselves. Those who died merciless deaths with anger or misery in their hearts were flung into the flames, their souls becoming black smoke that rained a hatred down on the land. What I stared at now was Gehenna. It's probably the closest you're gonna fucking get to it. The two soldiers led me to a half-collapsed subway tunnel. The lights were all off because there was no electricity, but there were three armored cars in camo colors with their headlights on to illuminate the way. They were four-wheel drive off-road vehicles covered in thick chunks of armor, but I didn't see any real weapons. It's play-based, or play war. Of course the Iruma base is safe. Duh. One of the Air Self-Defense Force's largest bases, located between Iruma and Sayama cities in Saitama Prefecture. It's home to 18 units and around 4,300 personnel, and it's also the location of the Air Defense Command Headquarters Flight Group. That's cute. That's a cute little base.
関東を脱出。
話は向こうで聞いてください。とにかく急いで。
There were a lot of things I wanted to ask, but even as we spoke, I heard what sounded like gunshots outside the tunnel. The men forced me into the back seat of one of the cars.
それではご無事を祈っております。
え、あなた方は？
自分たちには別の任務がありますので。では。
The two soldiers who had brought me here saluted, then turned around and left the station. It felt like I was never going to see them again. The door of the armored car slammed shut with a heavy thud. The car's crew were SDF soldiers, just a little older than me. The diesel engine kicked to life and the car raced down a tunnel that had originally been designed for trains. Of course, it wasn't a pleasant ride at all, but I didn't have any choice. There's no way I could tell them I wanted to go to Akihabara. I had no way to alter the world line. I had to survive in this hellish world. And to survive, I needed to do what they said. My wants didn't matter at all. I wasn't even allowed to express them. I just did as they told me and ran. It was all I could do. But I had no idea that it would take an entire month. A month? Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. But I'd if you give me that time machine. USR starts experimenting. Time machine America goes apeshit. Upon you from Japan. Woo. Then we'll invade Japan. Us. Oh shit. Kamikaze pilots. Shut up, noob. Interesting. Traitor shill. Jesus. Treacherous shill. What the hell is this? Why am I reading 4chan? Shut up, traitor. Is this today's you don't get to talk thread? Yes. Jesus Christ. W. Wonder what the word W letter W means. Woohoo. A shortened version of the Japanese word for laughter. Warai. Wari? Whatever. Supposedly it was first used in a non-Japanese online game. Of course it was. By adding a W to the end of a sentence or placing it in the middle, you can indicate that you find this situation humorous. On anonymous message boards, adding more W's, such as www, can indicate increasing amount of laughter and indicate that you're mocking an opponent. Examples, the sentence included WR. Whoa, okay. Jesus Christ, that's actually cancer looking. Using W's in this way is sometimes called making grass grow because of the way they look. It looks god-awful. Oh, hey, speaking of the grass, the reason it took a month to get to Okinawa was that we were losing the war. I'm just saying if America stepped in, I'm not saying it would go that. I'm not saying that they'd obviously win, but because they'd obviously win. I mean, it wouldn't be just like, oh, and Japan lost already. I don't think they would just give up Japan as a strategic staging ground that easily, because it's just a stone skip away from Russia. If we're really going into a war with Russia, I don't think they'd give up Japan that easily. Supposedly, the plan had been to ferry me by plane to Okinawa once I'd arrived at Aruma base. But the constant bombing had slowed us down, so they gave up on the plane and decided I would escape to Kyushu by ground. There were more than one attack by Soviet spies and assault team. Some of the SDF soldiers protecting me died. But when I got to Saibo, I was able to get on a maritime SDF escort ship and managed to escape to Okinawa. Why were they doing all this for me? No matter how many times I asked, no one would answer. Okinawa in winter was covered in thick clouds. Come to think of it, I hadn't even seen a real break in the clouds for a whole month. I was thinking about when I was loaded into a van with dark tinted windows that had come to pick me up from the port. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? Inside the car was not only the driver, but a middle-aged man sitting in front of the passenger seat. He was very short, perhaps only around 150 centimeters tall. Damn, dude, how about you how about you fucking grow some? But he had the air of a military veteran, and I even thought he was fully dressed. I could tell he was extremely muscular. No, I'm his brother.
私は防衛省中央情報保全隊の下山という。これから空港に寄り道してから彼らの沖縄防衛局へ向かう。長旅で疲れているところ申し訳ないが、もうしばらく我慢してくれ。
はい。
I'd heard that Tokyo had been destroyed. The major functions of the Japanese government were now headquartered out of the Okinawa Defense Bureau to allow for better cooperation with the American forces stationed nearby. That's what Shimoyama explained to me. In other words, the place I was headed to was the core of Japan's defenses. Once I arrived where I understand why it was so important that all those soldiers were willing to die to protect me. It's got to do, time machine. The car stopped in front of Naha Airport for a while. Airport Naha Okinawa is the hub airport of the Okinawa. Oh, there's actually other stuff. The airport is also home to Air Self-Defense Force Naha Air Base. As of 2009, it was the 6th busiest airport in Japan, as measured by number of arriving travelers. One of the 8 local defense bureaus of Japan, center of Japan's Ministry of Defense in Okinawa. One of the central ministries of Japan, it manages and operates the SDF. In 2007, it changed its name from the Defense Agency to the Ministry of Defense. Classy. And then I saw a surprising pair get aboard. Oh, hey, how's it going, baby? Jesus Christ. Why the fuck are you out here in fatigues? Why aren't our uniforms Santa outfits, okay? I wasn't expecting to see them here, but they were the first people I knew who I'd met since coming to this world line. That alone was enough to make me cry. But still, I couldn't sit there and be happy. She's probably fine. Yuki nodded as if trying to make me feel better.
一緒だったんです。
一緒だった。
そうなんですよ。マユシーでしょ、ルミホちゃんでしょ、ルカ君、楓ちゃん。今朝空港に着いて、みんな防衛局というところで保護してもらえるというので待っていたんですが、さっき急に私と吹雪ちゃんだけ先に連れて行くと言われて。
I'll go there first too.
それでこの車に乗せられたらオカリンさんがいたってわけ。
とにかくみんなが無事でよかった。
Since Star and Zuzawa weren't mentioned, I was going to ask about them,
すまないが積もる話は後にしてもらっていいだろうか。
Shioyama cut me off and the car started moving. We can talk while you drive.
沖縄防衛局には君たちのご家族もいずれ到着する予定だ。すでに我々の方で保護はしている。
本当ですか？よかった。
別行動になったお友達の皆さんもすぐ後ろの車に乗っている。離れ離れになるわけではないから安心していい。
I took a quick look and saw another identical van a little behind us. So Mayuri and the others were there.
後でまた会えるんですね。
I don't like this.
もちろんだ。
Yuki let out a sigh of relief. But then I started to wonder about something else. Why were we split into different cars? This van could hold at least another 3 people. If we squeezed tight, it could easily hold everyone. Or was there some reason they'd put me, Fubuki, and Yuki into the same car? Russian roulette time. Ah, shit. You had to pick one person to die. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. The car drove alongside the Okinawa monorail for a while, and then we went south and down a wide bypass. Jesus, there's so much stuff. The only railway operating in Okinawa is of 2011. It runs approximately 13 kilometers between Naha Airport and Shuri Castle, with a 30-minute transit time and 15 stations along the way. That's not too bad.
暗いな。
なんです？
いや、こんなに店が並んでるのに、どこも真っ暗だから。
There are lots of franchise restaurants, big supermarkets, cafeterias for tourists, and rent-a-car places all jammed together along the side of the road. But all of them were dead silent and their lights turned off. Barely any of the street lights were turned on, and the only cars were Japanese and US military vehicles. I didn't see anyone out walking.
10日管制と午後5時以降の外出禁止令が出ているんだ。沖縄なら安全とは言ってもね、戦時下なんだよ。以前のようにはいかない。早く戦争など終わって元に戻ってほしいものだ。
Wartime, huh?
なあ岡部君、君の知っている沖縄は夜遅くまでもっと明るくて楽しい場所だったろ？
あ、どうでしょう。俺は沖縄は初めてなので。
それはもったいないな。なら次は楽しい旅行で来られることを祈っているよ。ここは本当にいい島だ。
The car headed up from the bypass over a land bridge and then to another road. We quickly came to a long tunnel.
実は3人に防衛局に着く前に少しだけ質問をしたくてな。それでこうして同乗してもらった。
My guess was right. That meant there was something he wanted to ask just the three of us. But why us three? I wasn't particularly close to Yuki or Fubuki. Not my choice, buddy. I'd only even started talking with them a few months ago. And then I shook my head. That was before the world line changed. Many things were different in this world line. I had no idea what my relationship was to anyone else in this world line. Hope it's a lot closer to Yuki. Since the SDF had been treating me so well, I didn't want to make Shimoyama suspicious. I decided it would be the best to leave most of the talking to Yuki and Fubuki.
Amane Yuki-san.
Shimoyama spoke to Yuki first. I would too. Yuki went stiff when her name was called. I could feel it even sitting next to her.
君は橋田至君とその妹さんがどこにいるか知らないだろうか。
Little sister. That must be Suzawa. That would mean that even in this world line, Suzawa had come from the future and gotten to know Yuki and the others while pretending to be Suzawa's sister. Daru's sister. And the SDF eventually didn't know where Daru and Suzawa were. Yuki fell silent and glanced over to me as if expecting help. But I didn't know where they were either. I don't know what's going on. I didn't even have any memories of this world line, so I had no way of answering. But Yuki's attitude bothered me. It was as if she knew where they were and was deliberately hiding it, and that I was supposed to be hiding it too. I could figure that out. I'm sure Shimoyama could too. A strange tension filled the car. Yuki was trying to hide it from whom?
知らないかな?
Shimoyama turned around from the front passenger seat and asked again.
すみません。
Yuki bowed her head in
でも
apology.
君は橋田君とかなり親しいお付き合いをしているんだよね。
Don't remind me.
恋人に何の連絡もないというのは。
携帯電話なんてもう使い物になってないじゃないですか。
連絡方法なら携帯以外にもいくらでもある。
でも本当に何も。
妹さんからも？
はい。
時に岡部君は橋田君と何か研究をしていたらしいね。
I wasn't sure how to react when the conversation suddenly turned towards me. Researching? Researching what? Oh, if I panic, I'll make him then
どんな
suspicious.
研究をしていたんだね。
I would just have to give him the most harmless answer I could.
研究というより、なんていうか、ちょっとした発明のアイデアというか。
There's this really cool, little claymore-looking thing that dispenses smoke.
発明。
竹とんぼに CCD カメラをつけて空撮ができないかとか。
Charge a couple device cameras, a camera that uses semiconductors and normal parallels. The term refers to any extremely small camera.
掃除機の排気をドライヤー代わりにしてみるとか。
ほう、なかなか面白いね。それじゃ何かとんでもないものを作っていて、それを知られないために我々から逃げたというわけではないんだね。
逃げた？
Damn, I responded. That was a mistake. But did that mean that Daru and Suzawa were hiding from the SDF amidst all this chaos? The SDF had risked their lives to protect me over the past month. Shouldn't I be asking them for help? I got even more confused.
知らないのならいいんだ。橋田君たちのことは保留にしておこう。
Somebody please tell me what the right answer is. How am I supposed to respond here?
中瀬克美さん、君には別に聞きたいことがあるんだ。
私？
This time it's Fubuki's turn to jump in her seat.
いやいや、そんなに緊張しなくていい。大したことじゃない。
Or so Shimoyama said, but Fubuki was clearly starting to get scared. Her reaction was strange, it was too strong. Maybe the SDF weren't simply protecting us. For one thing, there was no way normal civilians like us merited such important treatment. But then what were they after? No, I could guess. A time machine. This war started with Russia's time machine experiments. And of course Nakabachi was involved. I'd learned that from some of the soldiers that even this world line he'd sought asylum in Russia. And Suzawa was a time traveler from 2036. If Suzawa was here in this era, that meant it was Daru who made the time machine that brought her here. If you had a time machine, you could change the outcome of this war. It would make sense that it's what the Japanese government thought, and if this is what they were trying to capture Daru, and this is why they were trying to capture Daru, Suzawa, and their friends. Once I realized that, the whole situation started to feel terrifying to me. Was this car really headed towards Okinawa Defense Bureau? And if it was, were they really going to keep us safe there?
先週、
They probably wouldn't
中
torture
瀬さん
you.
に受けてもらった健康診断なんだが、
何か悪いところでも見つかったんですか？
いや、東京で怪我をした傷も治りかけているし、体調には問題はない。まあ無理もない。あれだけひどい空襲をくぐり抜けてきたんだ。今やほとんどの民間人に PTSD があると言ってもいい。ただ君の場合、他の人とは少し違うようだ。
Oh, goody.
随分とリアルな夢を見たりするとか。ひどい時には白チュームというのかな。現実と夢の区別がつかなくなることもあると聞いた。
Yeah, that's not good to have.
だからそれが PTSD ってことじゃないんですか？
No, not at all. Fubuki was too scared to speak, so Yuki interrupted curtly. It was rare to see Yuki act like this. If nothing else, I'd never seen it before. It was plain now. Yuki didn't trust Shimoyama. In fact, she considered him an enemy.
いや、それが実に奇妙な話なんだが。
Shimoyama paused a moment for effect and rubbed his chin.
中瀬さんと非常によく似た白チュームを見る人たちがいる。しかも一人や二人じゃない。もちろん程度の差はあるが、国内だけでもすでに十数名ほど見つかっている。どうやら海外にもいるようだ。まあ西側諸国の情報しかないがね。
そんなのただの偶然じゃ。
Fubuki was incredibly frightened, so I spoke in her
プー
place.
シンを知っているだろ？
Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. From 2000 to 2008, he was the second president of Russia. After 2008, he became its prime minister, a former KGB agent. Wonder who he's named after. Suddenly, Shimoyama turned his gaze towards me and asked me a
プ
question.
ーシン、ソ連の書記長ですよね。
I almost said the president of Russia, but managed to stop myself. The Soviet Union still exists in this world line. Putin's title was General Secretary, not President. I had heard that during my time at Iruma.
そう。だが中瀬さんは興味深いことに、プーシンがロシアの大統領だと答えたとか。
What?
すみません。なんか寝ぼけてたんです。それに私、勉強とか全然ダメで。
いや、そうじゃない。白昼夢を見る人たちの特徴の一つなんだ。皆一様にそう口にする。プーチン大統領とね。ゴリバチョフやレリツィンのことも大統領と呼ぶものばかりだ。
Oh my god. Boris Nikolaevich, a former USSR politician after the fall of the Soviet Union, he became the first president of the Russian Federation as well as its prime minister. Died in 2007. Gorbachev, Mikhail, Russian names. General Secretary of the Soviet Communist Party, the last leader of the USSR. He executed the Perestroika plan and brought the Cold War to an end.
そのおかげで研究者たちは陰で大統領病とか呼んでるそうだが、センスのないネーミングだな。
Amazing. No way. Is he talking about reading Steiner? There's a strong chance that people besides me had the power, even if not as acutely. I never found out for sure, but for Ferris had said in the Alpha World Lines, certainly suggested it. So it's certainly possible that Shioyama's waking dreams were actually the effects of reading Steiner. If they were all aware of the world line shifts a month ago, just like me. Fubuki had the same memories of the other world line that I had. That would make perfect sense then she'd call Putin president. Or
ゴ
Putin.
リバチョフ、レリツィン。
知らないのかね。世界史の授業でやっただろ。
私、高校時代からずっと理系だったもので。
常識だと思っていたが、今の若い子は知らないのか。最近の学生がここまで不勉強とはね。
Yeah, it's kind of hard to not know who they are.
岡部君は知っているだろう。ゴリバチョフやレリツィンくらい。
まあ。
ベルリンの壁の崩壊やペレストロイカも。
Berlin Wall at least stayed the same name. Russian for reconstructing a policy of economic revolution via the introduction of the market-oriented economics that was implemented in 1985 by the Soviet Union. Originally, it was an attempt to reboost a stalled socialist economy, but it led to the end of the Communist Party's one-party dominance and the collapse of the USSR. Berlin Wall. After World War II, the capital of Germany, Berlin, was divided into two sides: the east and that was controlled by the Soviet Union, the west by America, England, and France. Later, Germany would split into West and East Germany. The portion in East Germany remained its capital, but West Germany remained occupied by the Allies, while being cut off from the rest of West Germany, which lay approximately 100 miles to the west. East Germany built a wall around the city in response to continuing attempts by its citizens to seek asylum in West Berlin. This was the Berlin Wall. Until its destruction in 1989, it was a symbol of the divide between East and West Germany. Additionally, West Berlin was never officially West German territory. They simply operated as a stand-in for foreign affairs and currency administration. Interesting.
はい。
I thought I didn't know half of that
そ
shit.
れも教科書で。
The second after the words were out of my mouth, an alarm went off in my mind. Something was wrong. There was something strange about what Shiomoyama was saying. Now I realized. The East and West were caught up in the middle of the World War. How could the Berlin Wall have fallen? And could Gorbachev really execute Perestroika? By the time I realized he tricked me, it was too late. My panic appeared on my face.
君もそうだったのか。そしてそれを恋に隠そうとしたね。
Fuck.
やはり情報通りなんだな。君は何か重大なことを知っている。なあ、岡部君。教えてほしいんだが。
Shimoyama suddenly laughed. It was a bitter laugh, almost
ゴ
eerily
リ
so.
バチョフレリツィン。君たちが口にするそれは一体誰なんだ。
They never ruled, did they?
我々はもちろんアメリカのあらゆる情報機関にもそんな人物のデータは存在しないんだ。
Wow. Don't exist. I looked over at Yuki. From the look on her face, I could tell that she really had no idea who they were.
ペレストロイカだの、ベルリンの壁崩壊だの、それは本当にあったことなのか。
Yeah.
答えてくれ。
I couldn't answer. I was thinking of something completely different. Suddenly realized why the world line might have changed a month ago on Christmas Eve. What if Russia used the time machine that day in an experiment to change the past? The goal of the experiment would have been to stop the collapse of the Soviet Union. And the result of their changing the past was this world line. Foolish. A single change of the past and the butterfly effect makes the entire world so different. Well, the fall of the Soviet Union wasn't exactly a small little thing. Flaps its wings in Beijing, a storm will occur in New York. A small change in setting, startling conditions can lead to radically different results. Chaos theory states that it can be difficult to predict the outcome of a system even if the equation described it are extremely simple. But this does not mean, however, that these outcomes are random. It also doesn't apply to short-term predictions. Yeah, this isn't a small thing. The fall of the Soviet Union was a pretty big moment